You are in tune to the Know It All podcast with your usual suspects. Your main man, Big G. What's poppin', G? How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I just want to make sure I clear it all out there for the know-it-alls, man. I was backstage talking Cash Money, man, the mod, and he couldn't take it. So we was back there talking about Bajan, and we lost track of time. So if y'all gonna be talking about it, he late, I'm the one that made him late because I fired him up a little bit talking about Bajan, man.
And what's up, Tate, man? How you doing today, bruh?
What's up, Mod? Big G, you fire everybody up with your ridiculous takes.
Okay, all right, I'll take that. But I know what I'm talking about, though.
Look here, man. We like to thank you guys for watching the program, and y'all are already with us. I'd like to thank everybody who's been commenting in the comments already. Not B Dirt. B Dirt will not get any type of shine there. You know what I'm saying? Timothy, how you doing, man? Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. We like to thank everybody else for watching, man. And if you would, just make sure that you like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube and Twitch so that when we go live, you'll definitely get that notification letting you know that we are here and in the building and ready to talk all things sports because, wow, we know it all. Man, we definitely got a full plate to talk about today. Some things that are funny, some things that are sad, but man, we're going to definitely get into it, man, like we normally get into it. And here we go. And again, you are in tune to the Know It All podcast with your usuals, man. And we got Claude on the line. What's up, Claude, man? Thank you for rocking with us. Definitely, Timothy Lyons says straight hating on my boy B Dirt. B Dirt hates on himself. That's what happens.
Hey, Mod, Claude, hey, man. I apologize, Claude. I already did it once. I'm apologizing the second time, Claude. My bad, dog. Gonzalez is a monster. He's a monster. But we'll talk about it.
We definitely gonna jump into some of these things, man. And Tate, bro, listen, man. This is what B Dirt says. Welcome, Buckeye and Texas Hour.
Wow. Tate, you muted, man. You mute.
Well,
welcome to the Texas 45-minute and Buckeye 15-minute hour.
How can that be, man? Let me know how that could be, bro. Like, honestly, it's two Buckeyes and one Texas guy. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Hey, but look, Tate, I'm coming to you. I'm coming straight to you because, bro, I already know what G is gonna say because G's been talking about it this whole time. I got to give G his credit. He's been talking about this whole time. This tight end group was remarkable, bro. Like, what did you think? We've been watching the combine all weekend, man. What did you think when you saw these times that the tight ends were running, bro? Like, did it like trip you out? Like, I mean, this is crazy. Talk to me.
Man, and G has been saying, G was, Daniel Jeremiah said it, but I heard G say it first, that 4 tight ends could go in the first round. And what's going to happen is a couple of those tight ends, maybe 5 could go, but going to push some receivers down to the second round because the team is going to want a weapon of some sort. And, man, I mean, I told Big G yesterday, I said the wide receiver class, nobody really impressed me at the combine. I mean, I know we got some good, talented guys, but nobody really impressed me. Nobody hit that 4.3 speed or just was, killing at the gauntlet drill or any of that stuff. Jackson Smith and Jigba looked good. He didn't run the 40 though. Mm-hmm. So until he run a 4.4, he's a jag, just a guy. You know what I mean? So, man, I'm kind of thinking the tight end class going to get 4. go push them down. But yeah, I mean, it's an excellent tight end class, man. Big G was on it right like last year. He said 6 receivers can go in the first round, maybe 7. He called that out. We're gonna gonna have to call Big G the Mel Kiper of the know-it-alls.
He's the Mel Kiper. Well, no, he's not Mel Kiper. He's better. We got to give him somebody better, like Ian Rappaport, because Mel Kiper can be
But respect Mel Kiper's longevity in the game. Mel Kiper been doing this since '83.
Yeah,
so he's the every guy that come up start trying to be like Mel Kiper. That's how they start.
But Mel Kiper said that Patrick Mahomes wasn't going to be good. So I just can't get at it. I mean, it just is what it is. B Dirt said this tight end combine cost Hayden Hurst and Irv Smith about $6 million combined in free agency. Absolutely, because get this, that when it comes down to it, they're not going to pay these guys. They're going to get these younger guys.
Evan Ingram get his money.
Yeah, he got his early. You know what I'm saying? These younger guys is coming in doing their thing, man. They're doing their thug thizzle. But here's a question that I want to ask before I actually get on to talking to specific players. Who's gonna go on a run, G? Like, who do you think? Y'all need to listen up, because last year he called the run. So I'm gonna give him the opportunity. I'm gonna give him the light. Look at him. He's smiling. He's licking his chops. He knows it's going down. What's going to be the first run that happens during the draft? Who do you think is going to go on a run, and why do you think it's going to go on a run?
The first run this year in the NFL draft, believe it or not, is going to be the quarterback. The quarterback's going to be the run. Because of the play and the performance of what happened at the combine with those top 4 quarterbacks, because there was questions about those guys dropping down to 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, late, and it didn't happen based on their performance on the field. So what's going to happen is you're going to see those quarterbacks all move up into the top 5 positions. There's going to be trades up. There's going to be teams that go from like that 11, 12, 13, 14, jump up to get a quarterback. And I think 4 of those quarterbacks are going to go in the top 5. The second run will be the tight ends. You will see somewhere around 14, 15, and the tight ends go back to back to back to back off the board, because teams are going to get in position to get the player that they feel can make all the difference in the world.
I agree, man. This is one of those things that I agree with G on, man. Honestly, when it comes down to it, I believe there's going to be a couple of runs made, man. But I have to disagree with G on one thing. I think there's going to be a lineman run made somewhere during this whole thing. I honestly do, man. I was looking at the linemen today, and North Dakota State guy made a case for himself. The BYU guy made a case for himself, and then Paris and what's the other guy you guys have?
DeJuan Jones and Paris Johnson were arguably first-round draft picks anyway. The kid from Northwestern is arguably a first-round draft pick. The only other offensive lineman that might have played his way up, because when you watch the tape and what the on-field performance was Torrance, the guard from Florida. That kid might have played his way into the first round. But the rest of those guys, when the combine workout,
the North Dakota State dude did too.
He did it well. You got to pop the film on and look and see if the film matches the performance. I don't know if that North Dakota State kid's film matches what you see, based on him being a day 1 first round top 31 pick. Nah, it ain't gonna happen. He's probably a day 2 kid, legit second or third round, legit. Not saying that, taking nothing away from him, but to be in that first round, you have to be exceptionally special. And there's only like maybe 4 kids. I like Jones also, the offensive tackle from Georgia. He had an outstanding combine. So maybe Jones, the 2 boys from Ohio State, Northwestern, and the Torrance kid from
BYU.
Florida.
BYU. You're forgetting about.
Man, I don't like his tape.
Had the best lineman look this year, man.
Pop his tape on. His tape is trash. His tape is trash.
Okay. Y'all talking about Blake Freeland from BYU.
Yeah,
he's a good prospect, but he's not first round. He's second round. And correct. I mean, No, he's not first round.
I
And
agree.
the dude from North Dakota State not first round either. Cody
I
Mott.
agree.
He's
Well,
not
I
first
thought
round.
it was second round before the combine.
No, he was late second, early third. He might have moved up to the middle of second.
Yeah, agree.
He might have moved up to the middle of second. And Paris Johnson was the smoothest lineman, the best looking lineman out there.
By far.
By far. I was rolling with Broderick Jones for the Steelers if they was going to take a lineman, if they could get one of them. But now I would want Paris Johnson. Paris Johnson, to me, looked better. Broderick Jones looked really good.
Yeah.
But Paris Johnson looked great.
Yeah.
So he said 4 quarterbacks in the top 5, or a quarterback will go in the top 5. So listen,
I say 4 quarterbacks in top 6. I say top 6.
Top 6, top 5. 4 quarterbacks is gone. They're gone. They're gone.
That's a burden, you guys.
And
wow.
And there's an argument, a discussion to be had. Is Anthony Richardson QB1?
Number 1.
Now that is a real discussion to have, because that guy played himself into a check. He played himself into a check this year. And then, with everybody doing deep dive on the tape and finding out that he had trash around him.
Yes.
Really in the SEC and doing what he did with trash around him. Hey man, listen, that upped his numbers for real. Yeah. We got the Savius Wilson. Shout out from AT&T. Hey man, what's up? What
up, Mississippi Tate? Hey Ma, that's my boy that got me right with my phone yesterday after I went and got it from Apple.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
He subscribed to the podcast. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, hey, appreciate you.
Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the KnoItAllz.
And listen, so this is what I'm talking about, man. This is what I'm talking about, G. When I'm sitting here and I'm watching this on tape, this blew my mind. Look at this man. This man is over the moon huge, right? And he done messed around and ran a 4.65.
No, who was that?
No. That's Darnell Washington. 275.
Oh, yeah.
270.
Yeah, no, 278. 278. Yeah, huge.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then turn around and made a catch like this. This is ridiculous, man. I mean, look at this. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. If somebody went and made them some money. Now, first of all, what are they feeding these kids in Georgia that all of them are doing this from the University of Georgia? Is Georgia the new Alabama now? What's going on?
Of course they are. They won back-to-back national championships. But the hat goes off to the strength and conditioning coach at Georgia. I've always thought and been saying for years that the greatest strength and conditioning coach in all college football is the guy at Ohio State, because we don't get the talent lot that they get at Alabama. Alabama gets a talent lot where they got first-round draft picks on the third and fourth round on the depth chart. But Georgia has flipped the switch, and Georgia's the number 1 strength and conditioning coach, because the depth that they have at all positions, and then when it shows up on the combine, is something I have never seen before. I've never seen some of the stuff that I actually saw going down with those Georgia players. Slow running back, but the rest of the team, outstanding. Bro. Outstanding.
Timothy Lyons said Richardson had a 54 completion rate at Florida. He'll be about 44 in the NFL. I think when they work his accuracy issues out, Timothy, because he's gonna, if he gets with a good quarterback coach, that man's accuracy is gonna go up, and you're gonna see him be a better quarterback. And the threat of him using his legs is crazy. Go ahead, Tate.
No, I just have Timothy check out Josh Allen's first 2 years in the NFL. Look at his completion percentage.
Correct.
And now look at him. That's all I'm gonna say. They drafted him on size, on arm strength. He played up there in Wyoming where it's cold at, which worked for coming to Buffalo. Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, they thought years ago, 30 years ago, that you couldn't train and make accuracy better, but you really can. They know you can now.
Correct.
Facts, man. And when it comes down to it, he's going to get in a system where they're going to give him a lot of attention. And if he sets, I feel like a broken record, man, and I love him, but I don't want to keep quoting him. But man, if he ends up, Big G said, if he ends up in Detroit,
it's over.
Hey, kiss the baby, man. That's a young team. And if he mess around, end up in Detroit, my God.
So Big G, if he ends up in Detroit, that means you saying CJ Stroud gonna be the first quarterback off the board.
Which I believe and think that the Indianapolis Colts found their guy yesterday. And I think that the Indianapolis Colts is going to move from 4-1 to get Stroud. There's no doubt about it. With his ball placement and what he was able to do, because he's going to run the 40 at his pro day. And believe me when I'm telling you now, he's running a sub 4.5. He's going to run a 4.49, 4.48. I'm telling you right now, he's going to do it. So when he goes and runs that sub, whatever, and they're going to be like, Doc, why didn't you run all year? Because most Buckeye fans are going to be so hot when he runs, it'll be like, dude, why didn't you do this all year? But his ball placement, he's a quarterback extraordinaire, getting the ball where it needs to be on time to the receivers. I saw him drop to the 8-yard line and throw the ball to the opposite 23 in the air on a rope. Dog, that's astronomical. You don't do that. That's up there with Patty Mahomes, Josh Allen. Yeah,
Richardson launched the bomb like that too yesterday.
From the 8 or the 9 to the 22, 23 in the air on a rope. So come on, man.
But the difference between them is CJ don't got to work on his accuracy.
Correct.
And if you remember, Big G, 2 years ago, I'm gonna go ahead and break my arm and pat myself on the back. I told you C.J. Stroud was the best pure passer of the football Ohio State has ever had.
Said that because we were having this argument with G, telling G about C.J. Stroud, and we were both saying C.J. Stroud's a good quarterback. We were both saying that.
I was trying to. I guess I was thinking about Justin Fields versus Stroud, and they about equal, but Stroud's a better ball placement, way better ball placement.
So B-Dirt said quarterback ranking: Stroud, Richardson, Levis, and Young. Well, we'll talk about Levis in a minute. Timothy Line said, man, that's crazy, bro. And he was talking about the 40 time that Washington ran, and then Tate, he said bingo. Tate, B-Dirt said bingo.
He could have been saying that to anything because I'm right about everything.
Some things maybe. Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Here's the thing that really trips me out. Like Will Levis looked put together yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
He looked really put together. And I mean, it's one of those things where I'm saying to myself, man, let's not overreach. Let's not, but man, he looked put together. The passes look sharp, crisp. You know what I'm saying? Look like you can get the ball out. Of course, there's nobody out there guarding you, but hey, he looks good, man. Give me your assessment on Will Levis.
He did what he was supposed to do, man. He did what he was supposed to do. He looked good. He missed a couple passes, but most of his passes were on a rope, and I do mean a rope. He gets it out there, but he didn't have a good season at Kentucky this year. He did last year. He's a prospect like Richardson. I think it's a lot of upside. I mean, but I'll say, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'll say David Carr looked good at the combine too, far as being cut up and all that stuff like that. We know how it went down with him.
I think a lot of times what G said really matters. You have to see them in the light of day. You have to give them the opportunity to get at the right system in the right place, because you can have the right quarterback in the wrong place. I mean, it happened with the Mr. I Steal a Lot, Brett Favre. You know what I mean? He had to get into a new system in order to really be successful. It happens with quarterbacks that set for a minute, you know what I mean, and then end up at different teams that, that's when they start shining. But man, listen, so I'm gonna jump from here. And who hurt theyself? Who hurt theyself this draft? Talk to me about who was your and give me like two. I give you two. Give me two people, Tate, who hurt themselves over the course of these last 2 days in the combine.
I'm gonna give you two that I believe didn't elevate their stock or didn't even do as expected. And I'm gonna give you two potential Steeler draftees because that's how I'm looking at it. I mean, I hate to be a hater, but I hope they stock did fall to make sure I can get one at 17, one at 32. And I don't know how Big G will feel about that. I know how I feel about the one guy, but I want Joey Porter. I think his stock dropped because he ran slow. He could change that at his pro day. He ran a 4.47 and a 4.52. And the second one is Jordan Addison.
Mm. Mm.
He ran. I mean, Kenny Pickett talking about, he gonna run the 4.3s, maybe 4.2. That joker ran a 4.55. And then pulled out the rest of the drills. So he got to get it at USC Pro Day, which I believe is March 9th. But those are two not fallers. I'm not gonna say they fell. They didn't rise their stock, so they both could be in place at the picks the Steelers pick. They both could potentially be Steelers, and that would be a great first 2 picks for us.
Like it. G, man, talk to me. Who you think was your fallers? Who hurt they stock?
Well, the first one was the guy that every Steeler fan, or at least most Steeler Nation, had locked in for our 32nd pick, and that was Ika, the defensive tackle out of Baylor. Ika looked sloppy. He looked out of shape. He didn't look like he was ready to be a professional athlete. He definitely, everybody was saying he was going to be a first-round pick based on his measurables and all whatever else, and he did not perform well at the combine. So I think Ika worked his way completely out of any first-round talk.
Hey, Big G.
Yeah.
That worked for me, too. We can get him at 49.
Yeah. And my second guy, who I thought was just going to be a combine freak, right? And he didn't show up and showed out, was another guy that the Steelers was targeting. Andre Carter, defensive end, outside linebacker, Army. Andre Carter was supposed to have all these super measurables and was going to run a sub 4.5 and all whatever else. Andre Carter looked sloppy. He didn't look like he wanted to be there. He didn't look like he actually wanted to be a professional football player. Now, I don't know if that changes because, like I said, you got to put on the tape, watch the on-field evaluation. But at this point, Andre Carter, you've dropped yourself from maybe where you was going to go late first, early second. Man, you could be a day 3 guy, based on what you put out there on the film, on the tape in Indianapolis. So those are the 2 guys that I say for sure. One other guy that I thought was going to show up and show out just because of his athletic ability was Dean, the safety for Florida. Dean is probably now going to be a 6th or 7th round pick, just because his performance on the field was just sloppy, and I'm like, man, come on, bro. You one thing I just got to say,
6
overall,
or 7?
everybody,
6 or 7?
6th or 7th round.
I don't know
Dean,
about 6 or 7.
Dean from Florida?
Yes, 6th or 7th round.
I think you may go 3rd or 4th.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
When
you got guys that are neck and neck, right? And then you start putting on-film tape, the one thing that they always go back to at the combine, and I'm going to quote Dan Campbell, the coach of the Detroit Lions. He says, I don't come to the combine to watch these guys work out. I come to see if they're going to show up to work out and check their character and then watch the film. That's what I came to see. So if that is like a job
interview.
Yeah. And if you come to the interview sloppy and I got to choose between this guy and that guy, I'm taking the guy that performs on the field every time. Dean did not show up. If you go back and watch his combine, he did not show up. It's going to cost him some money, man.
He was one of the strongest DBs on that bench, though.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was. I like what you said about the interview. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. When a player that says, "Hey, I'm not going to work out. You got to come see me." That's kind of like you telling the job, "Hey, look, I'm not coming to interview at your company. You got to either interview on me on Zoom or come to the crib." That's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it works. Claude Bishop said Joey Jr. hurt himself. I don't know. I believe he may have not showed up in like beautiful form, but I mean, get this. I'm just gonna say this. Tate hit it on the head when he said if everybody else ignore him and say, "Oh no, I'm not getting him because it's coming," that's somebody else back down in the line gonna get him, and they gonna get a gem. They gonna get a baller. Because once you do this, once you start cutting on that tape, you see the boy can play. He can play football. All that other stuff, it is what it is. I mean, it's just spice, man. You can play football. And I'm gonna tell you, I think mine was Quentin Johnson. That's his last name, TCU, right?
Yeah, wide receiver.
Yeah, he didn't flash enough. He didn't have enough flash for me. I needed more flash from him.
41-inch vertical. That's it. 41-inch vertical.
Go ahead.
He only had was a 41-inch vertical.
Yeah, but he had that big catch on the field. Huge big catch on the field where he jumped up. looked like he jumped to the moon to get it. And I was definitely like, okay, I see a flash there. And Jordan Addison really, to me, was just like, really? This is what all the hype is about? You know what I'm saying? This is what y'all are calling the number one wide receiver. My number one wide receiver this whole time has been JSN. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and that's only because of Brian Hartline. Brian Hartline is just he put out receivers.
Is that the reason, man?
He put out dogs.
Is that the reason?
Yeah, that's
or is it because Njibba's from Texas?
It's not, man. Listen, Hardline put out dogs.
He
put dogs in the league that are pro ready. They coming out here, rookie of the year. Both of them, like their stats were really comparable. And if Olave hadn't been hurt, he may have been rookie of the year.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And for those guys to say, "Hey, this guy's better than me," yeah, I knew this guy got to be the one. But Addison, to me, man, I just, I think he hurt himself. Who helped himself, who got himself in the first round and maybe in the first couple of picks is this guy.
Oh, yeah.
This is ridiculous.
He top 10. He moved into
this
the top
10. This is ridiculous.
10. Yeah.
How is this guy going? What was his measurables, G? I didn't know his measurables. All I can tell you is he ran a 4.39 40. Give me his measurables, G.
6'3" and 1/8.
6'2". 6'2".
6'2" and 1/8.
230, 238?
238 pounds. 4.36 40-yard dash. 4.36. Standing broad jump.
4.39, excuse me. 4.39.
No, the official clock was 4.36. The 4.39 is what they posted on the NFL show. When you go
No, it was 4.44 on the NFL show.
Yeah, so they moved into 4.39.
Yeah,
standing broad jump of
11. He had a
41-inch
vertical.
41-inch vertical. Standing broad jump of 11.
11-foot standing broad jump.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah,
If okay, let me put this in perspective because somebody
split time of 159 too.
That don't make sense. Yeah. But somebody was asking me today. They were like, "What the standing broad jump?" I said, "Well, think about it. The rim from the ground in basketball is 10 foot.
Right, correct.
So imagine somebody jumping that length with just standing, no running, no nothing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's big. That's a standing broad jump. That kind of puts it in perspective, and it has everything to do with explosion. So correct. If your offensive line, your tackle closes his eyes, your quarterback's in trouble. I mean, he's on your quarterback like that. So I think he helped himself. Tate, what you think about that, man?
Oh, I thought he was a beast. I mean, he was a beast. He just was hurt this year. And his stock was going to drop a little bit because he was hurt. But now that combine might have made it where his stock rise, which I'm hoping he can fall to 32 to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Hey man, everything I'm thinking about is from a Pittsburgh perspective.
From a Pittsburgh perspective. Look at B-Dirt said a Buckeye from Texas. He's got to be the show's MVP. Unbelievable. Tom said it sounds like Julio talking about Quentin. Go ahead.
I had 17 guys that improved themselves from where they was day 2 to possibly day 1. I literally don't have time to go through the list, but I had 17 guys that moved their stock. There's just 3 that I really want to talk about. One is Mims, the wide receiver from Oklahoma. That kid went from probably 4th or 5th on the depth chart of wide receiver. And if I'm an owner, GM, I'm taking a very strong look at Mims to come in and play my slot wide receiver. That's the first guy.
He's not going in the first, though.
No, he's
probably second round, but he's
early
early
mid-second now. When I projected him 3rd, no, I was saying he was going to be a steal anywhere he got.
Cedric Tillman, wide receiver, University of Tennessee, showed up and showed out. That kid, his measurables, he was 6'3" and some change. He was 215 plus pounds, ran a good sub 4.4 40-yard dash, and looked outstanding on the field. And the last guy who I was hoping just got real quiet was Jack Campbell, man. Jack Campbell, the linebacker from Iowa. My God, if I need a linebacker in this draft, I look at him first. It's either him or Sanders, the guy out of Arkansas. I'm looking at either one of them. If I need a guy, if I'm in a 3-4 or 4-3 and I got to put a guy right in the middle of the field, man, Jack Campbell was unbelievable. And the tape matches what you see. So that's why I'm like, man,
the tape match. He was the Buckets award winner, best linebacker in the country.
Better
That's
match.
correct.
You know what I'm saying? Better match. J. Steve says, I think Cooper Kupp ran a slow 40 time and he's still a beast. Absolutely. But Cooper Kupp is a product of a system as well.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? He fell into the right system. And this was a comment from Facebook. He fell in the right system, in the right place at the right time. So definitely, man. Timothy Lyons said, what did y'all think of Moss from Iowa?
Defensive back, he did pretty well. He definitely probably gonna be a second or third round pick, without a doubt. Defensive back from Iowa. That Laporta kid from Iowa, that tight end, he might have moved himself into the top 4 tight ends pick. That Laporta kid can play, man.
He's smooth.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. All of Iowa's defense, they had a really strong defense. So you got to think about those guys. All of them are going to be solid pieces for somebody somewhere, right? It was the offense that was tragic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The offense was tragic. It just was what it was. But defensively, Iowa had a defensive squad. Go ahead, Tate.
No, I was just going to ask about the Cooper Kupp comment. I agree. Cooper Kupp probably ran a slow 40 time, but Cooper Kupp was a third round pick, I believe. So that's what we're saying. I mean, if you get out there and you run a slow time and you don't do your drills right, that impacts your draft status.
Right.
Well, Cooper Kupp obviously didn't blow up at the combine, so he got picked in the third round. But he's a grinder, he's a worker, he's a good receiver.
Yeah.
He's made man, he's made himself.
Yeah, correct.
Made a name for himself and his family, and you can't whiff at that. You know what I'm saying? You can't take a whiff on that. Kind of switching gears a little bit, man. We're gonna, switch gears and talk about the NBA. This is what I said was really sad, man. I mean, when a kid is able to kind of take a stance and change, his family's dynamic and open up the door for wealth for his family. It's one of those things where you have to kind of leave the old you, the old you, and the lifestyle you used to live is the enemy always of the new you. And when you start bringing the old you into new situations, it just messes you up, right? And right now we're seeing this happen with John Morant. Last summer John Morant was accused. He was accused. We don't know, allegedly. They said that, he pulled a gun on somebody after a pickup game, and it was a minor, and basically they're using a video of him, from social media with a gun, proving that he has a gun. And now the NBA is kind of investigating this whole thing. And his career could be in the balance. I mean, it's one of those things where keeping it real goes wrong. Dave Chappelle, when keeping it real goes wrong, you can keep it real and be who you are authentically without bringing the old habits, the old poverty mindset with you. You know what I'm saying? Poverty is not how much money you got in your pocket, you guys. Poverty's this. What's up in between your head? And it's an attitude. G, talk to me. How do you feel about this whole situation, man? Talk to me a little bit.
I think I got a little bit of different spin and a different take on Ja than maybe some of the people, even the guys that I shared a podcast with on the KnoItAllz. I think Ja's trying to be something he's not. Ja grew up with his father had him enmeshed in AAU basketball from the time he could walk. Grew up in a 2-parent home. His father, his mother did outstanding job of raising his kid. You don't never hear character issues about Ja prior to him coming into the NBA. But I think he's trying to be something that he's not. And Ja is not a thug. He's not a guy that walks around and carries guns. He's gotten enmeshed in his community in Memphis. If you know anything about Memphis, Tennessee, Memphis is one of the roughest cities in the whole United States of America.
Definitely.
And when you almost have to carry like that thug mentality. So, but the difference between Ja and who I do a lot of comparisons to is Allen Iverson, is that Allen Iverson finally got a bunch of people in his ear that told him, bruh, you don't have to be all that to be this guy. And Ja has tried to be that, and it's not him. I think it's time for Ja to start listening to some people and get some people around him that actually really care about him. He just got a shoe deal for Nike he's the replacement for Kyrie Irving. And He might have just lost all of that because his wanting to be, flashing guns, jewelry and all. Ja, it's about you playing basketball. That's what it's about.
Again, G, and let me address B-Dirt's comment. You don't have to be from a place of physical poverty to have a poverty mindset.
Agree.
A poor mindset means you run around adapting the mindset of people from the hood and people from the trap. When you run around holding guns, you run around, smoking weed, doing the things that they're doing. That's a poverty mindset. And that's what I'm talking about. We're not talking about the fact that his family was poor. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about your mind is poor. And when your mind is poor, you do things like that. And I do think that G's right. I do think that, it's an imitation of life. You in Memphis, you trying to win in Memphis, trying to do what everybody in Memphis is doing. But I'm gonna tell you that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. It's not. Talk to me. How you feel about this whole situation?
Yeah, man. I'm kind of with G's take on it. Y'all, not y'all, YouTube, but fans, people in general, comparisons, trying to make this cat think he Allen Iverson. So he's trying to live up to that kind of, perception, to be viewed like Iverson was. Iverson brought hip hop culture to the NBA. I mean, Iverson was hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ja is a good young man. Actually, I know his uncle. My brother used to work with him. Alex Small. He used to work at Procter & Gamble in Lima, Ohio, but he's since moved. Still works at Procter & Gamble.
Yeah.
He lives in I think North Carolina now somewhere.
Yes, he does.
But that's him and Ja's mom are brother and sister. So and Alex is a real good dude. You know what I mean? But and the Memphis Grizzlies are trying to get out ahead of this. They sent Ja home for a couple games. He hasn't officially been suspended by the NBA or anything, but they're trying to get ahead of it. I think that's smart. And Ja it has some contrition and takes some responsibility for it, and has for the first time when he's been in these kind of situations. This is the first time he's kind of takes some accountability and says he needs to be better.
Yeah,
I agree.
I agree. Totally agree, man. 110%. And the things that are going around, and I'm seeing. I mean, this was funny. I couldn't help but laugh. But this was super funny. That everybody who's familiar with the movie know what that reference is from.
Right,
and
right.
It's just crazy. It's crazy that you see these kind of things. Internet's undefeated. Internet is totally undefeated. Today, man, we got a chance to see what Phoenix is gonna look like moving forward, man. Phoenix, with that three-headed monster and this guy, man. I mean, woo. Hey, man, they're gonna be hard to beat.
Straight buckets.
This is a team that's gonna be super hard to beat with Durant and you got Paul and you got Booker. Whew, that's a hard team to beat. Talk to me a little bit about the Phoenix Suns and where you think they're at right now.
I watched that game today, man. Most of it anyway. If Luka don't miss that bunny, we got a different outcome. We probably at the very least going to overtime. But I think KD scored 37. Booker scored 36. Chris Paul didn't do much. They didn't really find DeAndre Ayton. So I think they're a good team. I think it depends who they match up with in the first round. You know what I mean? As of right now, they can match up with Golden State in the first round.
Ooh,
yeah, I mean, so I think they don't have the depth to make it out of the West. I mean, they got a good starting lineup. They don't have the depth to make it out of the West.
You don't think the Suns got the depth to make it out the West?
No.
Okay, all right. I'm listening. I'm waiting for my turn.
No, I mean you got KD and Booker putting up 36, 37 and not getting Aiden involved. Chris Paul is going to be 38 years old. I mean, I like the Suns, but I don't think they have. If they run into the Clippers, if they run into Denver, it's probably one more team out west they run into. I think they got problems. The floor is yours, Big G.
So the Phoenix.
Thomas said, hold on.
Yeah.
Thomas said, y'all concerned about the Suns' lack of depth. I think he just suggests that. He said, I still feel defensively they're gonna struggle though.
They are gonna struggle defensively.
And Thomas said that they're top heavy. Go ahead, G.
Well, there's no team in the league that's not top heavy, and there's no team in the league that plays defense. There's no team. Everybody shoots
Big
for a
G,
big three in
Big
Boston.
G.
Everybody.
Boston, Milwaukee.
Come the playoffs, you got to play a semblance of defense.
Yeah, Boston, Milwaukee.
In a 7-game series, you got to play defense.
The only team that I know that I've been watching the NBA for the last 20 games is playing any semblance of defense is the Milwaukee Bucks. To me, personally, when you got PJ Tucker and Drew Holiday, they hound the ball. So
they don't have PJ Tucker. Philly do.
Well, Milwaukee hounds the ball. Philly does play some defense, but Philly's off and on. If Harden don't play, it is what it is. But I'm going back to Phoenix. I don't think – I said at the very beginning of the season, I said that the finals in the West would be the Denver Nuggets versus the Phoenix Suns, right? But I did not see or know that any of our guys sitting on this panel see Kevin Durant going to Phoenix.
Yeah, because if they didn't get him, they wasn't headed nowhere close to the
correct.
They wasn't going to sniff it.
Right.
But we all know and we all agree that Kevin Durant is an assassin. He is a hired gun. His job is to get you over the top. I don't see anybody stopping when the money's on the line because they can really go back and forth. You can go down Book, get one. Go back down, Katie, get one. Go down, Chris Paul, hit the lane, throw it up the lob at the Ayton. You can have Ayton where Ayton sits down a game or two and gets 20 plus because they're collapsing on the wings. So I look at them as probably the most formidable team out there. I mean, the only issue or thing I think about is Paul, and like Tate, you said, him being 38, does he got enough where he can get through all these series without getting injured or hurt? Because that's been Chris Paul's MO too. Paul will get in the playoffs and get injured. That cost him 1 year, you know.
Well, we talking about depth. I mean, don't they got a good backup point guard?
Nah, campaign trash, dog.
Right, okay. So keep going down the bench. Keep going down the bench.
Yeah.
And you'll get back to what I initially said.
Yeah, campaign. I don't think campaign helps them. You know, I think they're still looking at the buyout market as well. But I like Phoenix, man. I like Phoenix.
Here's my question, you guys. I have another question. LeBron is out for 2 weeks now?
Maybe longer.
Okay. Does AD have enough to get the Lakers to the playoffs?
What did he do against Golden State?
Without Steph, though.
No, Steph played today. Steph played, and the Lakers won, bro. The Lakers almost won by 10.
AD at 39.
It was out there balling.
Does he have enough?
Yeah.
They got enough to make it to the playoffs. So
yeah, they got enough.
So your answer is the Lakers make it to the playoffs.
They're going to make it to the play-in. They'll be 7 through 10 seed. They're getting in. LA's getting in.
Tate?
What are the records right now? Let me y'all. I'm gonna look up the records. See where the Lakers at right now.
I think they're 9th.
No, they're
like
11th. Yeah, they're like 11th. I'm gonna tell you.
They 11th.
They're tied with the Pelicans. They're tied with
West is so
they're
close.
half a game behind the Pelicans.
Yeah,
man, but they only 2.5 games out of 6.
That's correct. That's correct.
They're close. So, yeah.
That's correct.
They got enough.
Yeah,
so you believe AD can carry them?
Yeah.
AD can make up for everything that's been wrong with him the past 2 years by playing strong right now.
Yeah.
By putting him on his back, along with D'Angelo Russell and what's the kid they got in the trade to shoot the threes
from Minnesota?
Beasley.
Yep.
Beasley.
And Vanderbilt too.
I like Vanderbilt playing defense and Hachimura. Yeah,
Yep.
they can make up 2.5 games with LeBron. Remember LeBron in the bubble? They got them couple 2-3 months off. How it benefited them.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron getting 2-3 weeks off now, going to the playoff is going to benefit the Lakers.
Oh yes, sir.
Well, I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Nobody breathe hard on Anthony Davis. Nobody breathe hard. Nobody leave a toy on the floor.
They're gonna wrap him in bubble wrap. Every time the
they need to
game's
put
over,
him
when
in
he go into
bubble
the
wrap
locker
'cause-
room, he gonna take a shower, and after he take a shower, they're gonna wrap him in bubble wrap for the next 2 weeks. You know, that's what's got to go down in order.
The Saviors Wilson, man. Listen, y'all better protect Mr. Glass, because I'm gonna tell you, if you blow on him wrong, it's over with.
Hey, Mississippi Tay, we call AD on this show. Big G get a nickname. AD stand for always down.
Always down. He's always on IR over there on the sideline, man.
Boy, always out of commission, man.
Hey, but I ain't gonna let y'all switch up with the basketball. You know I'm not gonna let this happen without me getting on Mr. Luka Doncic and his garbage Dallas Mavericks. They 2-5 since the trade, bro. They trash out there, man. And I told y'all, remember we was just talking last week, and I said, watch what's going to happen these next 10. Watch what's going to happen. And just like I told you, they don't have enough pieces, man. And Luka is one of the biggest.
Just because they don't have enough pieces don't mean
no. Hold it. Let me get on Luka about him being trash. He's the biggest crybaby in the NBA. He's the biggest crybaby and whiner in the NBA. He plays bully ball, and he should foul out of every dang on game.
He's a
because all he
crybaby.
does is just push people off, chicken wing people the whole freaking game. He should have fouled out today against Phoenix.
He's a crybaby, but in all fairness and transparency, LeBron's a crybaby too, and that's my guy. He's a crybaby.
He ain't as much crybaby.
And Big G. Dallas can run into the same problem I told you Phoenix has, because what they had to trade away to get Kyrie.
That's what I'm talking about. my bad, man.
I say he's a crybaby, big crybaby.
Yeah,
but so is your boy LeBron.
No, not
yo, big crybaby.
How many chips LeBron got?
LeBron cries.
Okay,
LeBron.
Jordan was a crybaby, so don't get me started. Jordan cried too, but with chips, Luka ain't did nothing.
This is 4th year.
Listen, hold up. Warren said Kyrie brings offense, but Dinwiddie and Finney-Smith played the D. But Luka's that deal. I agree. Luka Doncic is one of the top players in the NBA.
And Warren know basketball. Warren been around basketball for 50 years.
Luka hot trash.
His brother, the best coach in the state of Ohio.
Luka hot trash.
His nephew's Mr. Basketball in Ohio. He come from a family he know basketball. He said Luka's that deal.
No, he ain't that deal, bro.
Yes, he is, Big G.
Luka like that
deal, bro.
Okay, name me 5 players in the NBA right now that's better than Luka Doncic.
Joker, Embiid, Giannis, Booker, Tatum. Do I need to stop?
Booker's not better than Luka.
Shut up, man. You sound
Booker
crazy.
not even
I ain't
close,
telling you to shut up. I'm just saying shut up to get up out of here, man. He showed you today what time it was. Booker done showed people all year what time it is.
Luka put up the same numbers as Booker.
Donovan Mitchell, there's another one. I mean, I can run off.
They're not better. Luka's top 5. The top 5.
No, he ain't. No, he ain't.
Hey, give me top 5.
Top 5 right now. Giannis. I don't even think G even said Giannis.
Yeah, I did. I
said
Giannis,
Joker and Embiid. You said Joker and Embiid first.
I said Giannis.
Giannis. And I respect everything Joker doing. He top 10. I put my top 5. He's not athletic enough to be top 5.
Joker the MVP.
No, probably so.
3 in a row.
But I got who I said Giannis. I got JT, Jason Tatum. I got Luka.
No, get him out of here.
Like I said, he might be 3. I got KD.
Killer.
And I probably I'm feeling I go Steph Embiid right now.
Yeah.
I'm
with it. I can dig Tate's list. B Dirt wanted to ask you a question. Luka 24. Did Bron and MJ have a title at 24? I'm not sure. I know MJ didn't. I don't think
Bron did either. Bron went.
He went to a chip. He went to a chip with a trash team, but he didn't have no chip.
Warren Pugsley said, Joker, Embiid, Giannis, Tatum, and Luka. Absolutely, man.
So that's same as my list. Mine is Joker. I had somebody in there other than Joker.
Get him out of there, man. Get Luka out of there.
And he said Booker's a bucket for sure. The Saviors Wilson did.
He is.
Warren said Brandon. No, they did not. but they also were crying at 24. MJ didn't start crying until after they had thrown the Pistons.
No,
listen.
He cried the whole time.
Yeah.
He started crying when they was losing to the Cavs in the
that-
first
that-
round.
I mean, but let me ask you this. Now, see, I don't want to get on Jordan. I don't want to talk about Jordan because, you know, some people around here say that I'm biased towards Jordan. But let me ask you a question. Did they kill this man when he went to the goal? They started a whole new thing talking about the Jordan rules because they were mercy killing this man every time he went to the
but
did he have something to cry about?
His crying is what got the rules changed.
Exactly.
Yeah, but he had something to cry about.
But so he was crying. That's what we're saying.
Everybody cried back then.
You know
Dominique would go to the hole and get clobbered. Isaiah Thomas, go back and watch the films where they beat Isaiah Thomas every time he ran to the basket. It was the culture of the NBA.
You know what they said was, do not let him get a shot up. That's what they
Isaiah Thomas got film more than one occasion where his whole head is bleeding from them beating him up when he went to the basket. Okay. I ain't never seen Jordan bleed ever, but I know I didn't see Isaiah Thomas get clobbered in the paint, bro. That was the culture.
That was the game back then. That was the physicality of the game. I mean, the late 80s, early 90s Pistons, the 90s Knicks. So teams played basketball.
Miami Heat was,
and I miss it personally.
Yeah, I love basketball back then. But you know, I didn't see Reggie Miller get clobbered. Go to the basket, and I'm talking about they just beat the brake shoes off.
We seeing scores now. What? In the 140s each team. What that game?
Scored 200 points the other night.
The Sixers and Clippers was 176, 175.
That don't make sense. You almost scored 200 points. So we got Facebook comments. Bobby Compton said the Lakers are through. He also said Sacramento is scary, but no defense.
Sacramento is scary. I don't know if they're going to hold that Compton 3 spot.
Bobby Compton said AD will step on a Lego and it's over, you know, because he got kids.
Shout out Bob Compton.
And he said, let's see here. Tap, tap, go bad boys. So, you know, he's a Detroit fan. We know that. And he said, Cunningham, go Pistons. I mean, you know, they can go somewhere, but they might not go.
Go get Victor Wembanyama with the number 1 pick.
7-3 coming to Detroit, baby. 7-3 point guard coming to Detroit.
Yeah. Hey, Warren said, Big G, MJ didn't cry until after he was getting body slammed in the Jordan rules. Then after they swept them boys, he said, okay, they can stop me from getting to the top. So stop.
No, he cried. He cried the whole time he was in the league.
But Big G, Warren, and I know this too, like Mod, is unbiasedly Jordan. So the people that love Jordan and can't saw Jordan coming up and love him, they love him no matter what.
Right. He the whole league, everybody cried, but like I said, it was inside out. So listen, I'm just gonna clarify this, and I know you guys know because we know it all, and a lot of our listeners and viewers know basketball. Basketball was draw 2 and kick. It's always been draw 2 and kick. The games played now draw 2 and kick outside the 3-point line. But back then it was draw 2 and kick to the middle, right? So you had to have a dominant center that played. But in the Jordan era, really who ushered it in was Julius Erving and Magic Johnson, where guards started going to the basket aggressively and they would dunk on you. I mean, there's guys that we don't even talk about on the show, like Byron Scott, like Kevin Johnson. I'll run down little bitty guards that if they hit that paint, they was going to slam it on you.
Oh, you was going to get one.
Or you was going to get posterized.
You was going to get one.
So big man, because of the way basketball was played, big man's job was if you were little, which means you're under 6'5" and you hit that paint, you get mopped. That's how it
mouse
worked,
in the house.
Bro.
Mouse in the house.
Right. They say mouse in the house. Right. And you come on in there, you're going to get clobbered. Jordan just was the king of that era that if you came to the basket, you got clobbered. You know, so it was everybody that was getting clobbered. It wasn't just
that was his game his first 6 years.
Correct.
This goal, he didn't have no jump shot.
Correct.
So
Timothy Lyons said, why so much hate for MJ?
We don't hate LeBron.
I'm going to tell you like this. Tate doesn't have hate for MJ. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I ain't got hate for MJ.
G got hate for MJ.
I don't have
You might,
hate for
Big
Michael
G.
Jordan,
Big
bro.
G. You might, Big G.
I ain't got hate for MJ, bro. What I'm saying is we just crown MJ as this great GOAT. And I'm saying Abdul-Jabbar, LeBron James, these guys are right there. They're the Mount Rushmore is all of them. So so to crown Mike as the GOAT, I'm like, nah, I ain't doing it. You know, because there's other guys that were just as formidable as basketball players that put the fear of God in you.
Let me ask you a question. Is LeBron still top 5? We didn't mention him.
He's top 10.
I wouldn't put him in my top 5, but I would say he's top 10.
Top 10?
You want to put LeBron in your top 5?
No, I'm talking about top in right now.
Right now.
Top 10?
Yeah. He top 10. He not 5.
Yeah.
He probably right around 9, 10, 11 right now.
Right now.
But at age 38, nobody has ever been that.
Right. Still out there giving him 30.
Nobody's ever been that.
Out there giving him 30.
Not MJ at 38, not Kareem at 38.
Now y'all are cutting Washington MJ short now.
He was trash.
He was
trash.
Y'all cutting Washington
averaging
MJ
20 a game, 45% field goal percentage.
23. You know, he was around.
No.
Yes,
he was barely 20. He was barely 20, bro.
20. It was 20, like 20.1.
I might have to. We're gonna have to do a fact check.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
Oh man, it ain't because we love MJ. I love Magic too. Big G, you've been hating on MJ. He has the crown for a reason. Wilt would be number 2 if he didn't lose so much.
Wilt, no, Kareem. I've said all along, Kareem was number 1.
He averaged 20 points per game his last year in Washington, shooting 44% from the field. And
after 20, he came back from hurting himself. Okay,
and 22.9 his first year in Washington, shooting 41.6% from the field, which means he was jacking it up.
22% at 38. You know what I'm saying?
22. Well, LeBron 30. What we judging?
38
and 8. 38 and 8.
It was harder to score. All right. Timothy said I agree with
2002, it was harder to score. Now you can't claim everything that happened to him in the late 80s, early 90s, and say the same thing was going on in 2002. Because it wasn't. See what I mean? See the Jordan bias? That's what y'all do.
All right. So Warren said number 1 is Giannis.
Agreed.
Timothy said Greek Freak is my today's fave. Claude Bishop said, "Come on, Tate. Top 11." What are you saying?
Yeah, he is.
I'm just saying right now, today, age 38, LeBron is 9, 10, that 11 range right there, which is great.
Yep.
Yeah,
I agree.
So the Savius Wilson said Kareem GOAT in the 78s, Magic, MJ's GOAT in the 90s, LeBron GOAT of the 2010s.
I agree. Mr. Wilson, for sure, I agree.
And Thomas said, who's the greatest and who's the most accomplished over their career are different questions, I think. I understand that.
I understand that, Thomas. That's actually a good way to look at it. Yeah.
I definitely get it. So, but I ask you guys a question, I'm going to answer it, and then we're going to switch gears and pivot again and get ready for our parting shots. I don't know if the Lakers have enough. I don't trust AD. I believe Kev said it right. Tate said it right. AD, this is your time to absorb yourself. This is your time to say, hey, look, Bron, I got you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't stand up when he got the scoring title. You ain't been the greatest teammate. The wind blow too hard and you brace yourself on the wall. You got a hairline fracture in your arm. It's bad. It's bad. So, AD, if y'all going to make the playoffs, it's all up to you right now. They don't make the playoffs, it's because of AD. Period, point blank. This is your time to pick this team up, put them on your back like a backpack, and carry them to the. All you got to do right now at this point, and Big G said this earlier. I'm just giving him so much praise. He said this earlier, maybe like 3-4 weeks ago. If you go on a 4-game run, you're there. You know what I'm saying? You just got to win 4. You got to win 4 in a row. If you win, 4 or 5 in a row in the West, you're gonna be there. Yep. And then, so what he has to do is win 4 games. He has to go balls to the wall for 4 games. I just don't know if his fragile body can handle it. I don't know. I don't know if his fragile frame can handle it. You know what I'm saying?
They might have gave always down a couple Novocaine shots, man. I think that always down. They're gonna try to make sure that he carries through, man. I really do believe it, man. I believe AD's really gonna play, man. For real, for real.
I don't know if I trust it, man. I don't know if I trust it. Parting shots, you guys. Let's talk, man. Tate, I'm gonna come to you. I know you're not always ready, but I'm gonna help. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna throw you up one because we didn't get a chance to talk about baseball. So give me your parting shot.
It's not gonna be about baseball.
Okay, go ahead.
Nah, man, you're right though. I'm not ready. But so I'm just gonna say, man, thanks to everybody in the live chat, man. You know, Warren, the OG, Mississippi K, that's the Cavius Wilson, Mississippi Tay. Hey, man, good looking out. Thanks for everything yesterday, man. Thanks for spending time with us. We here every Sunday at 6:00, and you know we like to just talk sports and whatever else going on with all y'all, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Warren said Giannis, Embiid, Joker, Luka, Tatum, KD, Steph.
That was different than me and Warren's first list. I had KD in the top 5 over Joker. I had Joker right out the top 5. But yeah, it makes sense. See, Big G, nobody thinks Luka's trash.
I'll put Luka behind Booker and Mitchell, but that's me.
I'm telling you,
get him out of here.
Hey, Big G, you always settle this to ask yourself the question: Would the Phoenix Suns trade Booker for Luka? Yes, they would. Would the Cleveland Cavaliers trade Donovan Mitchell for Luka? Yes, they would. But the Dallas Mavericks would not.
What? If that's because they love Luka. That's because they in love with Luka.
They love Luka because he's good, Big G.
But this is what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave Luka alone. But y'all know how I feel about him, right? but Luka, he might not make the playoffs.
He might not.
So how are you better?
He might not, but I think that will.
You went to the Western Conference Finals last year and traded for a top 20 player.
G, come on, G.
You traded for Kyrie and you can't
make it. For you to say Luka Doncic is trash is just wild, bro.
Garbage. Garbage. Dumpster fire.
Hey, Ma, go ahead. Go ahead, Big G, with your final.
Hey, G got hate. Timothy Lyons said G got hate. DeSavius Wilson said I love it. Go ahead, G. Give me a parting shot, bro.
Hey, man, I just got 2 pieces, man. And I promise you I'm going to go quick. First thing is, man, happy birthday to Rocky Bleier, man. One of my, we named a list off the other day of all of our top favorite Steelers. I wanted to put him in the list so bad, but there was other guys. But, man, happy birthday to Rocky Bleier, man. He embodied the Pittsburgh Steeler way and how we do things in Pittsburgh, man. So, Rocky Bleier, to you and your family, man, happy birthday, man. Big G.
Big G.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, but you made me think about it. Also, great show. We did a show on Tuesday with Jay Tuck from Dallas Cowboy Nation. Was a great show.
Yeah.
If y'all didn't see it, go back and check it out. Dude is big in the Dallas Cowboy community. DJ in Kansas City, Moz boy. And you know, we just had a great football talk, mostly about the Cowboys and Steelers. Mostly about the Cowboys. A little bit about the Steelers. You know how them guys are. But yeah, it was a great talk. So thanks, Jay Tuck. Check that one out from this past Tuesday.
Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead, BG. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's no problem. Like I said, happy birthday to Rocky Bleier. My second thing, and you know I hit y'all with a burner every now and then, man. But CJ Stroud's going number 1. I don't care how you cut it. I don't care what team goes up. Stroud going number 1. There's no way on God's green earth I draft Bryce Young at 5'10", 204 pounds. You tell me he can't see where he's throwing the ball. He can't see where he's throwing it. And in the old school NFL with Drew Brees, you might have been able to get away with that. In this new NFL, I wouldn't touch that kid. Look what happened to Tua. Look what happened to Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray might not be ready to the middle of the season, and he's 150 times more athletic than Bryce Young. Tua, can't stay out of concussion protocol.
I think Bryce Young is a better reader of defenses than he actually studies. So that makes a difference.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying he's not smart. I'm not saying, but I'm saying when you got defensive ends that got standing broad jumps of 11 and run 4 threes, you in trouble. They coming. You know, and when I'm telling you that all bad intent is when they get there. Their job is to knock you out the game. He ain't gonna survive. He's not gonna survive. He's gonna get hurt bad. So I wouldn't touch him. So Stroud is the #1 quarterback. Mark it on your calendar.
I will say Timothy Lyons said Murray couldn't read a D to save his life. He was too busy playing Call of Duty. That was his whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes down to it, you know, I think that's the difference between Kyler Murray and Bryce Young. Bryce Young is a winner. You cannot quantify that. And he's super smart. I mean, anytime you get the
Kyler
playbook,
Murray a winner, Mod. Kyler Murray a winner.
Hold on. Anytime you get the playbook on Sunday and you've memorized it on Monday, you are a football mind. And I think this guy is that type of person, right? The second thing, well, my first parting shot goes out to John Bones Jones, who is a killer. I mean, he made it look so easy last night. It just wasn't even funny, man. He just goes out and just casually chokes a guy out, and it's over with. Fight was over. I mean, it was over before it started. You know what I mean? It was over before it started. He came out praying like on the Key and Peele skit. You know, you know what I'm talking about. He sacrificed. He's like he sacrificed his soul to God. He's an instrument for God. You know,
he said, I must save you. And he drops down in the back talking about.
So
he's like, where'd he go?
He came out and showed why he's the greatest. He was the greatest at light heavyweight. Now he is a heavyweight champion. John Bones Jones is the GOAT in that space, man. I definitely have to send some shout out to these kids and from local kids that have made good and look good in this draft. Deuce Vaughn,
outstanding,
Round Rock kid,
outstanding,
looked good at the combine. There's his family. You know, he went to Round Rock, not Hendrickson. He was at Hendrickson. Definitely a Round
That must
Rock
be a
kid.
Texas school. That must be a school in Texas.
Yeah,
it's in
Kansas State.
Okay.
That kid's going to play in the NFL. He's outstanding.
Yeah, he is.
He's little, but he's going to play in the NFL.
He's in Austin. Big shout out to a friend of the program, of course, Elijah Higgins, who went to school right here in Austin at Bowie with my youngster. You know, he played down there at Stanford. Definitely got some tick, ran good time.
Moving to a tight end in the league.
Big kid ran a great time. Congratulations, you guys. I'm telling you, it's hard to get where you've got. You stay committed. You stay true to the process. I watched you go from, you know, U.S. Army All-Americans and go through college. And I mean, because he came out the same year that Garrett Wilson did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Garrett Wilson and him were top 2 receivers in this area.
He's the new Evan Ingram, Mod.
I think I do think that he's gonna be a good tight end. He's got the size, the height, and he's built like a machine. He's built like Drago. He's a machine. I must break you. So definitely shouts out to them. Shouts out to their family. Shouts out to their parents. Deuce Vaughn's father actually coaches for the Cowboys. He's a speed trainer for the Cowboys. Definitely these last couple of comments. The Savior said John Bones Jones was too easy. Definitely was. Timothy Lyons said Betty has 2K KD on COD. Right? You're probably right. He does. He's talking about Call of Duty, talking about Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray on Call of Duty is just something else. And then B Dirt said to clarify, my comment was about the take on Luka and not Bryce Young. And then definitely we have great show as usual from Claude Bishop. You guys, man, I appreciate y'all rocking with us, man. Definitely we had an opportunity to just talk sports with you and have fun with you guys, man. We love doing this. This something that we love to do, and we thank you for taking your time. We don't take that for granted. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube and Twitch, so that when we go live, you can definitely get those notifications. We have one more last comment. Of course, Timothy Lyons said, "Great show, great show."
Hey, Ma, read Claude Bishop's comment, the one before. Great show.
You go ahead. You read it.
And
I'll check Facebook.
In honor of Pay, who's one of our co-hosts on our homies podcast on the Steeler Network, he always ended with the rest Brett Favre. He has since been adding rest Brett Favre, Carl Malone, and Daniel Snyder. Thanks, Claude.
Bobby Carpenter said, Jordan would not give up the ball, so he's gotten hammered more. Okay, all right, that was the last we were talking about Jordan. But definitely, you guys, like I said, I appreciate you guys for rocking with us, man. Make sure that you come back next week. We should have Coach Q here coming up here pretty quick, and we'll have some other visitors that you can check us out with.
Hey, for our Buckeye fans, we got a confirmation. Tate, did you check me if I'm wrong? Coach Jordan, running back coach for Ohio State Buckeyes, will be on the show. So thank you, Coach Jordan, in advance for coming on and being part of the podcast.
He said he'd be willing to be on the show. He hasn't given the time yet, so I couldn't tell you what date that's going to be. I know they got the spring game and things like that coming up, so hopefully it can be sometime before then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, again, we'd like to thank you guys for rocking with us, man. We would, for myself, for Tate, and for G, we will holler at you guys next week. Peace.